Welcome to the Essence of You podcast. My name is Stephanie Schechter. I am an entrepreneur, conscious wellness coach, and Reiki practitioner. My goal with this podcast is to empower you to live as your most authentically aligned self, provide tools for you to harness the infinite healing power within, and share some insight on how to do so. Now, let's get to the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm certified natural healthcare practitioner Erin Thole, and I'm super excited today because we have Stephanie Schechter joining us, and she is going to be talking about energetics, basically, and how our emotions, our energy, our mood, just like the essence that we surround ourselves with, how that actually affects our health. And so, that could be responses to trauma, that could be just general life events, and, just the highs and lows that come with being human and stuff like that. So, hello, Stephanie.
Hi, Erin.
I'm super excited for this episode because I think that it plays into pretty much everybody's life, everybody's health. I have, quite often clients where we're working on so many physical things, and there's just like a couple of hiccups, a couple of bumps in the road where, there's a roadblock. And I'm like, man, I think this is stress related, and just some of the different relationship things that are going on in your life, or the, just different really hard events that are bogging down your energy or making it hard for you to sleep at night. Like, there's not always a physiological reason. Sometimes there's an emotional reason. So I really want to dive into that today and hear your take on it, hear about what you do, and then we'll let people know how they can work with you and get in contact with you and all that good stuff too.
Sounds great. And it's such a fun topic because people don't know to think about that. They're just like, all right, what pill can I take? Who do I talk to? And thankfully, there's people such as yourself doing it in a holistic, long lasting approach to health. And energy will, when things and traumas are left unaddressed, whether we remember them or not, our body, our whole reason for being here is to experience, to grow our soul, to remember our soul signature gifts and use them. So
Yes.
it's we get amnesia and it's our duty to remember. So whether that's something you do remember or not, your body will wave things like, say you have hormone issues, or you keep running into the same patterns in a relationship, like you said, and these will flag people to come to people such as yourself to get help. Mm-hmm. But unless addressing the underlying cause that your body's flagging, all right, I'm going to make my knee hurt, all of a sudden I'm going to be able to not going to be able to eat this anymore, so hopefully I'll get her attention at some point, or his attention. It really, I say that we only have so much space in our wagon, our backpack, and if we have a 10-pound weight from something when we were 2, 3, 10, any age, last week, it's gonna bog you down to where your energy can only go so far forward before you crash, or before you just can't go anymore. And then it's like fatigue, poor sleep, bad adrenals. So it all plays such a role. And a little bit about what I do is I'm a psychic empath activator, and I assist others in transmuting the binds of pains and trauma, allowing them to access their soul signature gifts and remembering them so that they can begin living life on purpose. And it just kind of unwinds all these tethers that are holding them down. It's just reconditioning that nervous system.
I love that. And you and I have had a session together, and it was magical, and just, it's a lot of what I would call like, oh duh, kind of moments where it's just like, it's almost like you're like reminding a person about who they are, and helping to just kind of work through all the fluff and like the mind chatter and the things that are really bogging you down. So I'm excited to do more work, and just like see how much more open and expansive my path can become by getting out of my own way. So I think that is a thing that a lot of people need, because a lot of people like myself are overthinkers, perfectionists, want to be in control of like every single little thing. And when something isn't just so, okay, how can I dive deep into this? Especially like in my profession, it's almost like too much where you can almost kind of like sabotage yourself, because you're like, okay, let's try everything and the kitchen sink and see if that works. Like that's kind of the go-to motto for a lot of practitioners when something like in our lives, in our health, like kind of goes awry. We're like, do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
Even though we would never do that with a client, for some reason all the rules go out the window when it's yourself. You're like,
Always.
whatever, I can handle it. I'm going to take 100 supplements a day. That's fine for me, but I would never do that with a client, kind of thing. So I think doing work with someone like yourself is so rewarding and so eye-opening, because it just kind of like calms that storm and that like do from like a physical standpoint, and makes you do more of like the do from like an internal standpoint. Does that make sense?
Such a good way to put it. First of all, and thank you. And I am so excited to see where you go because, like you said, more expansive. And when we heal that stuff, and the O does, because remember, when I remind you, you just had amnesia. You never really forgot. I'm the same way. I'm like, all right, how can I completely uproot all this? But sometimes it can be too much on the nervous system. So you get to baby step it. Coming at the health, and when you do the internal, less of the external is needed. And that's also when the holistic approach is really beneficial, because you're coming at it from both sides in a loving way. Mm-hmm. And how you said, take control and go after what's like not working, that's when we miss the beautiful synchronicities and the magic, because the magic happens in the unknown, not in the known, which is the certainty. So it's hard for people to surrender and just let things be, because they're like, I don't know what that means. Yeah, just because it's so ingrained to go harder, do this. When it doesn't work this way, do it that way. Sometimes you just need to take a step back and let things come to you, because it's not time.
Exactly. So I love that. How did you fall into this work, or like come into this line of work? Usually there's always an interesting story behind people like yourself, because it's not like a run of the mill, like you have to have like a certain inner knowing, be able to tap into that inner knowing, have that gift, kind of thing. So how did you...
I can hold you as deep as I've gone. And I've always known and had these gifts. I just didn't know what they were when I was younger. And I just thought something was wrong with me, because I didn't have parents that knew what it was to nurture it, rightfully so. And so I just ignored them, literally pushed them to the side. I had had a traumatic experience happen when I was 6, which I pushed down and repressed for 27 years. And then I had my own... See, I got to go through this myself and remember in my own way through the healing. I had had thyroid issues, hormone imbalances, leaky gut, IBS, can't eat this anymore, can't eat that. I mean, you name it, it was insane. And through that, I actually created a sunflower butter company. I couldn't have nuts at the time, went on an anti-inflammatory diet, and I was just really underwhelmed with the alternatives to nut butter. So I created something that I could love. And so I was grateful for that part. And I realized, okay, I addressed it from the holistic side, and then it was time to do it from the inner side. So I just dove in, uncovered that trauma, learned how to recalibrate my nervous system. And literally when I did that, I remembered everything. It was like a fireball, and it just got pitched to me. And I was like, whoa, how do I know? How do I know what you're thinking and feeling? And how do I know what I'm doing with my, the mind, the ego was like, what is going on? This is wild, but I trust you. So it was really cool how it came about again. But then I remembered that I'd been doing this for lifetimes, and
Yeah.
it's my superpower. Literally came here to do this and help people.
To
And
help people. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Exactly. So how do you, for people that haven't ever, because for a lot of people, I feel like this is something that's just kind of like, whoa, this is different. This is new. Like, what's this about? Kind of thing. So walk people through how, because I think that there's a preconceived notion that's very, very wrong about how appointments with someone like yourself go. Like a lot of people have this feeling that it's like crystal balls and like all this stuff that you like see in the movies and stuff. No, it's like therapy on steroids, kind of. Like it's just like so insightful, and it's a conversation, back and forth. It's not just you like spitting information, at a person, kind of thing. So I just kind of want to, because for a lot of people it's going to be really new, so I want to just kind of give you the opportunity to just kind of like walk through what sessions actually look like. Like, what does that mean when you're like working with someone? What does that look like?
Yeah, like you said, therapy on steroids. And I've even had people say, this felt like 10 years of therapy in 3 months. And, oh, this felt like an ayahuasca ceremony. So it's really just a conversation, getting your permission to tap in and hear what you and who you are, feel into your body, because I can literally feel the pains, the physical pains in my system, and then I'm able to uncover what they are or where they're from, or if it's like what age it is. And I'll never say, oh, this is this because of this. It's always a, like you said, conversation, a reminding you of your own power to be able to then access, and not just me hearing the answers and telling you, because that
Yeah.
would do nobody any good. I might as well just say you're getting a reading. No offense to anyone that does readings. It is a conversation, and I can feel where people are emotionally and where they may retreat. Like, say you might retreat in your low back, and then I can say, okay, that's this age, just like, not to give away any information, but we did a little bit of that in your session of certain
Yeah.
ages. You go, yeah, definitely. And so it brings that just up, lovingly brings it up to the surface so that we can talk about it, and then have that not be an issue anymore.
Process it, get rid of it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Transmute the issue.
Yeah.
And then so you can, because when you heal that and merge that, you're essentially merging the timeline of like who you are and where you are now. So then you can receive more in all areas of your life.
Just helping to break up those blocks and remove the things that kind of hold you back. Because we all have those
Limiting beliefs and stories.
Yeah, exactly. Belief systems that aren't necessarily ours, but things that have been passed down unknowingly. Like nobody is passing down to their kid, hopefully, like we don't think that we think that people that have a lot of money are bad because they're snobby and they're, look down on other people and stuff like that. So having money is bad. Like nobody tells their kid that, but that is typically like a common belief system for a lot of people that struggle with like financial highs and lows. At least I've experienced that like in my life and with talking to other people, is because they have like this ingrained belief system. I'm just using this as an example, so it's not something that you're necessarily aware of, but helping to like recognize what those belief systems are that aren't yours but have been passed down to you.
Majority of the things you tell yourself and the stories, beliefs, they're passed down even generationally. And maybe that is something that's said to kids, like, oh, they have, so and so has money and there's not, don't be like that. We're so young and we don't fully come into self until 7. So all those years you absorb what your parents say and what those around you say. So you become that until you can break free from that. And a lot of people don't know who they are. And that's scary for them. Like, I don't know what that looks like. And that's why I walk them through the process. It's like, I'm not going anywhere. I've got your hand. It's okay. You got this. I'm going to introduce you to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's very empowering, which is why I love the work that you do, because you do feel so empowered, and just like all of the BS has been just like wiped away, and you're like seeing clearly, once you've gone through a session. So
Thank you.
yeah, it's awesome. So I encourage people to just kind of try something new, step out of your box, and see if this is something that resonates with you, if it's something that helps you. And how can people contact you? How do you prefer people to contact you, Stephanie?
They can find me on Instagram, DM me. I answer all my DMs, even if they're just a question. Always here to help.
Awesome. Well, thank
Absolutely.
you so much. This is great. And I think that people will really kind of have some aha moments with this, where they're able to say, like, oh, yeah, maybe there is a connection to my emotions and this issue that's been dragging me down physically for a while. So,
Yeah, and I encourage people also that if this scares you a little bit, or it feels a little, oh, that's a little too much, or just kind of pushes the edge, I encourage you to ask why. Because that's
mhm.
usually where you want to go. You want to push the edge just a little bit. That's how you continue to grow. Is
Yeah.
because if we're in our comfort zone, like, we're not going to grow there. Like, you, even if it's a discovery call or reaching out to me and we can get on a call to see if this is even something that, or whether it's me or somebody else. Yeah, just going there. Because when something excites you and you don't know why, and your mind has all the reasons why not to do it, but inside you feel warm and a pull, listen to that. Whatever it is. I don't care if it's jumping out of an airplane, taking a trip, or booking someone like myself. Listen to that. That is your guidance, trying to get you to do something that's going to be expansive for you in every way. So
Yeah.
that's my
Love
encouragement.
it. Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all this information and insight. I appreciate it.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'll put all your info below so that people can know where to find you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Erin.